All right, what up, YouTube? This is Lord Bass coming to you from State 943. Again, we're looking at State 943 here. Today's video was about orange heroes, specifically non-seasonal orange heroes. Now, before we get started, I do want to give a huge shout out to my state, to everyone who supported me. I've had a lot of people show up today who want to be in the video. I give them their own little spotlights. So we'll go through it one by one. Do have to give a shout out to Banana, or the first one to show up. Then we had Bumblebee show up, Wepawet, Yodugal, Hellbabe, XYX, Morty, Flying Dutch Bish, Brian C, Kazuto, Jimbats, and Zenugal. They're all switching their bases to the yellow, so I think I might have to honor that as well. Let's go in and change my base just to join the yellow team. But this is a huge thank you to everyone who supported me through all this time. For everyone who's been there, thank you so much. Bumblebee wanted to show off his new base as well, so there's his new base. But there we are, guys. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone for this idea as well, because there's been a lot of questions around seasonal heroes, mainly because a lot of the videos out there are based on those. So let's look at the non-seasonal heroes. So people who are just starting out the game, let's look at orange heroes, how to place them, what skills to look for, and that's kind of what I'll be focusing on there. Yeah. Hellbabe did ask to have her avatar put in the show as well, so I'm going to quickly load that up for her. Thanks, Hellbabe. Other than that, let's get started with non-seasonal orange heroes. Alright, hello everyone. So let's get started talking about heroes, hero placement, and more of a focus on the non-seasonal orange heroes as well. To begin with, we need to look at the skills that come up with a hero, how to place them, what to look for, what to go from there. Different skills, so for example, skill number 1 and skill number 6, they are the ones that will increase the amount of troops you could have in your hero's row. Skill number 2, 5, and 8 are typically the attack skills. Those are the ones that will give you bonuses for attack. Some will do some healing, some will go from there. Then skill number 3, 4, and 7 are the skills that will add buffs to your row as well. We'll dive a little more deeply into there. We'll talk about what it takes to unlock them as well. To begin with, let's look at the effects of having skill number 1 and skill number 6 open. So if you look at my Dawn Guardian, right now he has skill number 1 at 10 and skill number 6 at 10. Fully open, fully unlocked. He can have 105,000 troops in his APC. If I put in, for example, my Warhound, who has had none of them opened, the number drops way down to 24,000. So essentially what my class APC building is at, the amount that the troops are allowed to hold in there. That's kind of where you're going to see the big difference when you unlock those two skills. And that's why with non-seasonal orange heroes, getting skill 6, the Awaken skill open, is huge. It'll allow you to drastically increase the amount of troops you have in there. And I'll show you what that looks like. Look at my Dawn Guardian. Skill number 1 talks about being able to add 23,000 more bonus troops to your APC. The Awaken skill, fully maxed, increases that might by 20%, resistance by 10%, and then 250 bonus to skill number 1. So that's 23,000 times 250, which is where we get up to 103,000, which also, like I said, includes the troops from there. All non-seasonal orange heroes, the one you want to open up first is skill number 6. That is the goal, that's the aim for it. To get number 6, your hero does need to be level 35. And we'll go over that together, but that's kind of where you want to get your skills up to. These are all the orange heroes for Season 1. Legend, the Undertaker, Razor, Militant, Iron Guard, Reaper, Arsenal, Destroya, Shootaman, Forsaken, Dawn Guardian, and Warhound. They all have similar skills. They all kind of do things slightly different, though. And that's where you want to learn how to build your APC. So, the first step to building an APC with orange heroes is knowing what range they're at. Now, the way the range works is the row that they're in is considered row 0. The row in front of them is considered 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 going forward. So if your hero has a range of 2, they're able to affect rows 1 and 2 in front of them. So what that means, for example, if your hero is at the front, his row is 0, then row 1 is enemy row number 1, and row 2 is enemy row number 2. If your hero's at the back, row 0 his row, row 1 is your first friendly row, row 2 is your second friendly row, row 3 is the enemy row, row 4 enemy row, and row 5 enemy row 3. That's why when looking at your skills, particularly skills number 2 and number 5 and number 8, you want to see what the effective range is. So Dawn Guardian, for example, his effective range is 5. What that means is he's a great back row hero, because when he goes to attack, he'll hit all the rows in front of him. So he's on the 6th row, all 5 rows could be attacked. Now, your heroes will not attack your own team unless there's a specific guide to that. So what I mean by that is if I look at someone like Forsaken, Forsaken's skill is range of 2. So that means that his row will only hit the first 2 rows. Right? So if I put him in the middle, that means the middle row is now row 0. Row number 1 is a friendly row, and then row number 2 is a friendly row, which means he only has the opportunity to hit that front row of the other person's APC. If you put him at the back, row 1 and 2 are friendly rows, so he will actually hit none of the enemies with this skill. This comes really important when you look at the battle reports. If you look at my previous video, you can see kind of how to read them, but knowing how to maximize the amount of attacks your heroes do will really give you that big bonus. Now, skills number 3 and 4. Number 3, this increases the resistance. So typically the skill number 3 is always for resistance, and skill number 4 is always for might. These are going to increase your might. And of course, as you level up your skills higher and higher, the better it gets. Skill number 7, this one changes depending on the hero you're using. So for Forsaken, it increases your HP of your row. If we look at someone like Destroya, also does HP. And if you look at someone like Dawn Guardian, this does might. This is why this is a really great APC. It's one of the top non-seasonal APCs, having Dawn Guardian, Forsaken, and Destroya, because the biggest focus is on HP. Gives you more hit points for all of your units in that row. This is one that I recommend to just about everyone. If you can get a max Forsaken, Destroya, and Dawn, you're going to increase your hit points of your entire unit by about 30%. And you're looking at increasing your might by, depending on what each one does, but also the whole might of the whole unit by about 30% as well. If you look at a hero like the Undertaker, her skill number 7 is for resistance. So she's a really good defensive hero. So she's going to increase the defense of her formation. If you look at someone like Arsenal, let's go find Arsenal. Arsenal is in another one of the APCs. Arsenal is actually really quite nice because he does resistance as well. However, when looking at the skills, Arsenal has this really awesome skill at number 8 called Suppress. So what that means is that one of the enemy units that is affected will be unable to take any action for one turn, effectively rendering one of the rows done. That is a huge skill for defense, trying to stop enemy from getting into there. Um, as you start to do more research, you can have more and more like defensive people. But this guy is super good if you're trying to prevent people from attacking. He's a great defensive hero. He's also really good for Doomsday. So once you start hitting Doomsday, he's actually really nice for taking tiles. Again, it's important to look at his range. The range is only 3, so I would highly recommend putting him in the middle. He won't do very much if he's in the back row. He might hit that front one, but also don't forget there's always a chance. So it's only a 30% chance on this skill. But yeah, so looking at how the skills are used, how the skills happen, that's what comes most important. Knowing their effective range will help you place them. Knowing what type of skills they do, so does it increase might, does it increase HP, does it increase resistance, will always also affect how your APC build goes as well. The other thing to mention as well is to unlock these skills. To unlock skill number 2, your hero does need to be level 6. Unlock skill number 3, it needs to be level 12. To unlock skill number 4, you need to be level 20. To unlock skill number 5, you need to be level 25, and you need to have an extra orange hero. So that means you need to have one card that you can either kill off an orange hero or use to unlock. Skill number 6 needs to be level 35, plus it needs to have a duplicate of the hero. So what that means is you actually need to have another copy of the hero you're trying to unlock. Skill number 6, you need 30. Skill number 6, you need 30. Need level 35 plus a duplicate, right? Skill number 7, you need 45 plus 2 orange heroes, and then skill number 8, you need level 50 plus 3 orange heroes to unlock. So now, speaking of that, I really do encourage you to go online. There's tons of resources that do breakdowns of each individual hero, their skills, their placement. There's tons of resources, but understanding why people have chosen to do them the way they are, what's happening, is huge. Also knowing people from their usage of them. I know that using Forsaken, Destroya, Dawn Guardian has been great, but you can also interchange Destroya with Shoot a Man. If you're leading a shooter APC, you want to look at Iron Guard. Iron Guard is one of the Iron Guard and Razor are two of the few people in this first season that actually have troop requirements. So Iron Guard is required to have shooters. Razor is required to have vehicles. Yeah, Razor is required to have vehicles. If you put Razor with a non-vehicle troop row, none of his skills will work. So that's something to think about as well, is when you place them, make sure you have the right troop type. So right now, the way that my APC is set up, I have fighters in it. Guess what? Razor's not doing anything. Make sure you focus on what your troops do, what you're trying to accomplish as well, and how you're going to do it. This IPC is going to die every single time because it's T7 fighters, and Razor does no damage at all because he's not hitting any of his skills. Yeah, this is my very simple introduction. I'll do a quick summary right now for us all. So we talked about the heroes, how to place them, where to look for them. So looking at skill number 2, 5, and 8 for the range will help you place your heroes, knowing the range. So the row they're in is row 0. The row in front of them is row 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Having one with a range of 5 at the back is important. Having one with a range of 2 in the front is also important. We also talked about skill number 3 and 4. Those skills are important for improving resistance and improving might. We talked about skill number 6, the Awaken skill. That's usually the first skill you want to aim to open with an orange hero. It gives you huge advantages when starting to fight, especially starting out. Then we talked about skill number 7, That one is specific to the hero. For example, like Arsenal increases resistance, Dawn Guardian increases might, Forsaken does HP. Looking at where those are and trying to pair them together is going to be a huge reaction for you. Also helps you kind of set up your APC. And then we look at skill number 8, which is another attacking skill, looking at the range. When you start to get into seasonal heroes, there are some heroes that actually do different things, like heroes. There's heroes for attack, there's heroes for support. That's where the big come in. Knowing what their skill does and how to pair them is going to be huge. Understanding what to look at for the battle report, understanding where the parts come in, understanding all this stuff, everything kind of all piles together. So when you're first starting out, definitely try and get as many orange heroes as possible. Get skill number 6, Awaken, open. And have fun. Remember, it's a game. People get really stressed out sometimes because we have a lot of time, money invested into these games. But remember, it is just a game. And as always, if you have any questions, support, or if you want more answers, or if I missed something, please let me know. Again, a huge shout out to all my friends who showed up at the beginning, specifically Manana. You're the one who asked for Mananaba. You're the one who asked for shout out specifically, so thank you so much for coming. Thank you for everyone for teleporting nearby at the beginning of the video. And like I said, continue to have fun. If you have any questions or want to drop me a line, send me out there. Even come visit me in 943. I'd love to see you. Thanks, everyone. Hellbabe did ask to have her avatar put in the show as well, so I'm going to quickly load that up for her. Thanks, Hellbabe.